everybody, welcome and thank you for joining me. First of all, let us congratulate William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, on their 14th wedding anniversary. This, I'm sure, is a big one for them, because I'm sure that they're also celebrating Catherine's newfound health. Sometimes it takes something big to make you realize what you have and how blessed you are. I personally wish them the best and many more happy and blessed years together. Okay, guys, I think most of us are of the opinion that the child portrayed by Meghan as little Betty is not the same child in all the photographs. And it is not really the colour of the hair, because I'm relatively convinced that Archie's hair is either being coloured or the pictures are manipulated. But instead, in Lily's case, it is the texture of the hair which is actually convincing me that it's not the same child. In the photograph with Harry, the child's hair is sort of dark blonde, but very straight and no longer baby hair. But instead, the texture of the child's hair looks like terminal or permanent hair, whereas the redhead girl with Meghan still has what they call vellus, Vellus, or baby hair, and Lily should not be having baby hair anymore. Although it's not 100% fast rule, there are always exceptions. I do know of a few babies born blonde who now have dark hair, or born dark with blonde hair. But generally, in most cases, babies are born with darker hair, which goes lighter between 9 and 30 months, and then after age 3, hair will again become progressively darker. But like I said, there are exceptions. It depends on the parents' DNA, the baby's own DNA and hormones, and to an extent the environment. But in no way will adult hair turn back to baby hair. So how can the child on Harry's lap be the same child as the one with Meghan at the Roses? My daughter is home today, but we need to catch up a little. Bath the dogs, sweep and wash the floors, and so on. She will read your replies tonight or tomorrow morning and choose one for me, one to receive the book. Dragonman has spent the last 2 days filling up the driveway with concrete, so no help from him either. Anyway, let's move on. I'm not going to say much more about Virginia Giuffre until the autopsy results are out. However, let me just mention that she wasn't alone. Her brother also lives on the farm where he acts as caretaker. So we'll see what transpires from the investigation and take it from there. Okay, it appears that finally the message is landing with people. Now, I'm going to be blunt. I have said for so long that we are directing our anger in the wrong direction. My interest in Meghan Markle begins and ends with her link to the monarchy. As much as I've lived my entire 60-plus years with a monarchy, I also lived it without the aggravation of a Meghan Markle. I did not know about her, regardless of having watched the first season of Suits, until the day it was announced that she was Harry's girlfriend. And was I perplexed, because I could not remember seeing her in Suits. Anyway, Meghan Markle is Meghan Markle. She is who she is. She is a narcissist, a sociopath, an actress, and whatever else. Actually, remind me one day to talk to you about people without a soul. I did not know that it exists. I thought it was pure fantasy. But no, it actually exists. It's actually real. Well, for me, that is why Meghan Markle appears so fake, because she has no soul, or very little. So she has to imitate or emulate or copy other people's emotions. Have you ever heard how she can laugh at the most inappropriate moments? Here is the perfect example for you. You cannot get a better example of Meghan trying to copy human emotion and getting it all wrong. Just listen.
And we both had very similar experiences, though we didn't know each other at the time, with postpartum.
Yeah.
And we both had preeclampsia.
Oh, God. Can you believe we both had that? It's so rare.
It's so rare.
And so scary.
And so scary.
So Whitney says, it's so rare. And Meghan repeats, it's so rare. Whitney says, and so scary. And Meghan repeats, and so scary. But as she's saying it or repeating it, she laughs. It is totally inappropriate because it is indeed scary and can even be life-threatening. So if she had it, she would definitely not be laughing. It would instead have resulted in a fairly serious discussion. And believe you me, with a blood pressure of, say, 222 over 122, you are not showing up for anyone. Not only are you uncomfortable because you just gave birth, but you may have a splitting headache, nausea, heart palpitations, or all three of them. Protein in your urine will result in swollen hands and feet and even a swollen face, frequent urination, fatigue, nausea, possible vomiting, maybe even shortness of breath. So no way, Jose, are you showing up for anyone with postpartum eclampsia. So Meghan is talking utter shite, because remember she said, yeah, and then we still have to show up for people and pretend nothing is wrong. No, my dear, if you have postpartum eclampsia, you are not showing up. Anyway, but once again, it's not only Meghan's way of trying to attract attention or even sympathy, but also her fight to come across more human, more relatable, by also having issues the same as every other Joe or Jane soap. Anyway, I digress once again. I think most of us have realized by now that Meghan will never stop. She is obsessed with the royals, obsessed with Catherine, obsessed with fame and wealth. But as obsessed as she is with fame and wealth, she has no clue how to obtain it. And although she's made a couple of million basically because she's married to a prince, she has no idea of how to keep that wealth. Because Meghan is so soulless and immature that her aim is always immediate gratification. She has no vision of the future. A child of, say, under 5 is basically the same. The person with the biggest gift or holding the sweetie will be his or her favorite person for now. Does that sound like Meghan Markle? Of course it does. So back to where we were. Meghan is 43 or nearly 44, or is it 45? I lost track, but I think she turns 44 in August. She is not going to change. She may get worse as she gets older and more bitter, but she's not going to all of a sudden become an angel, selfless, honest, and true. It is not going to happen. The same goes for Harry. Harry knows nothing about nothing. Harry has no common sense, no intuition, nothing. Harry himself turned 40 last year. In years, he is an adult, so he's not going to change either. So what is the point of being angry at them? I demonstrated 1 or 2 videos ago in what a precarious position William will find himself if he is to become king soon. He has very little support, and his eldest kid has 10 years to go before he turns 21. So with all the nastiness and the serious personality defects Harry has, it would indeed be a disaster if Harry was to become regent. And there's only one way to remove that fear and opportunity, and that is to remove Harry from the line of succession. Removing Harry will automatically remove Meghan's chances of being a stand-in queen. Oh my gosh, the woman is insufferable now. Can you begin to imagine what she would be like if she could say, "My husband, the king"? I'm almost sure she will order people's heads to be chopped off. Do we really care how it is done? How Harry is to be removed and his title stripped? No, we don't. Whether it has to be done by Parliament or the King or his Privy Council or the janitor, it does not matter. And why not? Well, let me quote what a member of Parliament said. "The King must set the ball rolling. He has to start the process." Parliament has decided years ago not to interfere with titles and the royal family as a whole, unless, of course, a crime has been committed. So Parliament will not take the first step. Charles has to, and Charles won't. He does not want to, and if you remember correctly, he said as much. So what now? Meghan is already using her HRH styling again. Yes, a card and a gift basket read with compliments from HRH, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan. The Queen specifically asked them not to use HRH, but Meghan did. And why? Because she can. She knows Charles will do nothing. Yep, on the Jamie Kern-Lima podcast, Jamie revealed a gift basket with strawberry sauce and ice cream, complete with a gift card reading with compliments from HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. However, as the public started to throw tantrums, quite rightly so, a spokesperson for Harry and Meghan very quickly spoke up and said that they are not using their HRHs. How laughable! Who then put it on the card? And why then did Meghan leave it in the basket? Honestly, Meghan is really one button short of a jersey or cheese short of a pizza. More crooked than a darn bunch of bananas. But according to her, we are all crazy because, of course, she did not tell Oprah the royal family is racist. The British media did. And of course, we all heard her wrong. Absolutely imagined that she told Mindy Kaling that she's not Markle anymore, but Sussex. Seriously, the woman is certifiable, and cancer or no cancer, the king has a duty to protect his family, his country, and his people, and should use his little bit of energy he has left to write that letter to Parliament. As a matter of fact, I have already written it for him. they can just go and type it up. Let me read it to you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is my wife and I's most sincere wish to have my darling boy and his pretend sweet children, whom I love with my whole heart, removed from the line of succession. Although my dear darling mother sent my grandson, the great and most gracious Archie, a waffle maker, and I sent the golden blonde blue-eyed Lily a copy of my mother's Playhouse, they will not be using it in this darn country, but in sunny California, and therefore I, Charles, the King of England, newly reformed Islamist, has to ask you to remove them from the line of succession. With a broken but grateful heart, Charles R. And with that, my dear friends, I greet you all. Please take good care of yourselves until we meet again on the next one. Bye.